Welcome back to Naija Meet Wales.
My surname is Useghan. So
you're from Ondo?
It's an E at the end of the alert.
I'm so sorry about that. I'm Yoruba boy. Who is Mr. James?
I saw my born with silver spoon. Some they said it's Paco. For me, I don't
no spoon. They even lost your spoon. Like, oh, that rock.
Exactly. Like I said, poverty was my motivation. So humble background where poverty taught me a lesson, and that's why I'm here right now.
Did you ever imagine you become a tech entrepreneur in the UK and in the West and precise?
So I've always had this before tech came into existence. But then when all these things were happening, I was like, whatever that is trending, I just have to be in that picture to see how I can flow with it. The moment they just look and they see that there is no police there, they just switch. When they move, then the other people they follow. So
let's talk about Alerte. Let's talk about it. What inspired the idea?
I was sleeping in my dream and I just noticed that there was fire outbreak. And when I opened my eyes, all I did was to touch my phone. And when I tapped my phone, water came out from nowhere and stopped the fire from escalating all over the place.
Wow.
And I woke up.
I thought when you woke up from the sleep,
just tap your phone.
No. Or like a firefighting truck. Emergency. I'm not saying you shouldn't stop the use of 999 because this is how it works. Simply, we started doing something. So the first proposal was during the Jonathan era. Shook hands, he loves the idea and all of that. So I was the youngest senatorial candidate in 2009.
Did you watch Joshua? Anthony Joshua, when he had an accident, the response team was police officers.
So
that came
100%.
You can just be in your bed and just.
Yes, you just need to swipe. They don't, and that is so. The app has three options. The issue works with the kidnapping.
Go to your sidekick's house, they will catch you.
Exactly. Yeah.
So they call it Alerte.
Yeah. When you are called to leadership, it calls for responsibility. As a servant leader, I care about the well-being of the people. So these are the passion. Anybody that is affected. See, I tell people, sometimes people come to me and they say, somebody died, and that passion.
How did that moment feel?
Yeah, Great British Entrepreneur Award is happening in November, and I hope to win because we got shortlisted out of over 5,000 applicants. But then you need mentors, you need people to guide you through, so you don't do the wrong thing.
No classroom has done that for you.
You must be a blind man. A blind man is like a focused man who sees nothing but just one thing.
No, just one thing, yeah.
Something is trending and is bringing about positive change in the society. Just find yourself in it and get it happen. A lot has been happening lately, especially in terms of job search and a lot of development in the other world. Even now, people don't have to go to photography studio to take some photos anymore.
What you just need to do as a photographer is just infuse it into your work.
How do people start up businesses in the UK?
Company's house.
Company's house.
Go to company's house and they will give you the option. So I need you to note one thing, that entrepreneurship is one of the most loneliest. You face my own night duty where others are sleeping at work, and you must, of course, know the direction that you're going. If you know your direction, you will see there will be so many obstacles. There's no door. You create a door or something, That's one challenge. A community where we have a lot of people with different ideas, but, they have a goal of, somebody just needs to be at the door to hold the door for others to get in. I totally agree with you, but my point is this. When a change comes, absorb it and see how you can make good use of it. But that's just the harsh reality. Those were the things I got. I'll tell you this for free. Most of them are looking for money just like the way you are looking for money. I'm doing way better because the level at which I have, you have to balance it. So there is the issue of balance. People talk about money. I don't like discussing money, honestly. Yeah, 100%, yeah.
Welcome back to Naija Meet Wales, where we bring you inspiring stories of Nigerians making remarkable impact in Wales and beyond. Because imagine operating an app that that could help save someone's life with just one swipe. And an idea born from seeing real problems and then deciding to become part of the solution. And today, our guest today is an entrepreneur, is an innovator, a humanitarian, a founder whose work is getting recognition across the UK, from banking to technology, from Nigeria to Wales. His journey proves that your environment should never limit your vision. Please join me as I welcome the CEO and founder of Alerte Universal Limited, Mr. James Useghan.
Let me just correct one impression. You didn't get my surname pronunciation.
Okay, please.
And I think you owe me a cup of coffee.
I'm so sorry about that. I'm Yoruba boy.
My surname is Useghan. So
You're from Ondo?
I'm from Ondo State.
It's giving the Igbo.
The just speaking part of Ondo State. So it's James Useghan, and the company's name is Alerte.
Alerte.
So there's an E at the end of the Alert, so it's Alerte.
Like French.
Yeah, but it's not even French. For in Ijo language, it means to be at alert as well. So in my Ijo, yeah, alert, like it has happened. That's what it is.
So without wasting much of our time, I want us to dive into today's conversation. And then, okay, firstly, tell us about yourself. Who is Mr. James?
Well, I'm just like everyone else, easygoing personality, convivial, and God-fearing, married with 2 beautiful kids. My daughter just turned 1 yesterday.
Happy birthday.
And then my son,
happy belated birthday,
5 in December. It's a Christmas boy, so
that's
he'll
nice.
be 5 this December. So yeah, so I mean, easygoing personality. I came from a very humble background where poverty taught me a lesson, and that's why I'm here right now. So like, yeah,
trying to leave the poverty era.
Honestly, I think people that are great today, if they tell you their stories, you would see that most of them were not born with a silver spoon.
Yeah.
So let me even tell you, the honest truth is, while some are born with silver spoon, some they said it's Paco. For me, I don't.
No spoon. They even lost your spoon. I hold a rock.
Exactly. No, if it was even available, but there was no spoon. So you have to find a way to create the kind of spoon you want for yourself. And that is, keep striving in the things you do. That, like I said, poverty was my motivation. So it got me pushing. Sometimes I would sit in my house, in our compound where we have a lot of street guys, that are, doing a lot of stuff that are not really suiting the society. And then I'll be there, I'll see the plane flying, and I'm like, oh, which day will I get into this plane and all? So I've always had this big vision and dream. They were like impossible to me, but I just felt if they are human beings running them, there is a way I'm going to run
You
them.
can do it.
Here we are today. To the glory of God, I'm still very much me, and still striving to get to that destination.
Did you ever imagine you become a tech entrepreneur in the UK and in Wales in precise?
So, one thing I can say is, I've always had this, before tech came into existence, looking at the phone era where we had Motorola and Nokia phones in place running a lot of things then. We had no opportunity of having those kind of phones, because then I could remember when you would make a phone call for 67 naira per minute for MTN then, and then you have to go to those roadside business call centers to make those phone calls, and you'll be wondering, when are you going to have this phone, when are you going to, so tech was already crippling in. We never thought of AI then. But then when all these things were happening, I was like, whatever that is trending, I just have to be in that picture to see how I can flow with it. Maybe somebody is driving on the road, like the bus conductors, the drivers you have on the road, in the long traffic, it's not right though, but that's what they do. When you see these bus drivers staying so long in the traffic, and there's one lane that nobody is supposed to pass, the moment they just look and they see that there is no police there waiting, they just switch and then they move. Then the other people they follow. So that's resonance for me, so whatever happens and I see that people are doing it, don't get me wrong, I don't follow the crowd, but when I see that this is what is happening and people are really getting the benefit of it, I just find myself in it. So if tomorrow something beyond AI is coming, which I don't, maybe at some point you start pointing things to start making sure things begin to happen. Maybe we'll have to find a way around it to see how that works. So I think that's the way my mindset is wired. I go with what is happening and I just find a way to, and that's change. So when change comes in, it's how you are able to adapt to it. Do you understand? It's not like you don't have to follow the crowd. A lot has been happening lately, especially in terms of job search and a lot of development in the other worlds. Even the phone, you can do them. So it's I'm sorry, but that's just the harsh reality. I totally agree with you, but my point is this. I can give you so many instances. I've seen people who were using photographers before, they no longer use them because of what AI is doing. Any change comes, absorb it and see how you can make good use of it.
I'd like us to talk about how you're a businessman, you're an entrepreneur. How do people start up businesses in the UK?
So I needed to note one thing, that entrepreneurship is one of the most loneliest, if there's a word for that, craziest entity you can venture into. And trust me, is, sometimes you begin to ask yourself why you are into this. You have not added the family factor to it, because if you're adding that, you might go mad at some point, because the family is needed. They want your attention. The business needs your 110% attention as well. So having to start in the UK to an extent is quite good. One thing is, how do you want to go about the idea? And then another thing you must consider is the weather situation in the country. A lot is put in place. We have just about 3.2 million population here in Wales, and for you to penetrate those markets, there are some places you need to get yourself into. So it's not just about registering the company and relaxing. When you register the company for tech, is a lot, because you are being confronted with the GDPR, data compliance issues. You need some other persons that can support you, which really comes by as a limited company. There's a lot to it. It's quite difficult, but if you know your direction, you know your market strategy to what you're doing, to an extent, it might take longer. I've seen so many billionaires talk their stories, and the stories are focused on how they've been able to be consistent with what they do. Recently there were some interviews. One white guy was going around some entrepreneurs in Nigeria and was asking them how they were able to become billionaires, and they were like, most of them said it didn't happen overnight. Some of them took them 8 years, some of them took them 10 years to stay true to what they do. So your market is very important, your networking is very important. You must be compliant. You must, to the set rules and the laws that are guiding, the business entity. And then, of course, you must be open to partnership. You must be open to conferences
and stuff.
Collaboration, exactly. So these are things you must do. And then aside that, you must try as much as possible to gain recognition, which was what I was doing over time. I tried as much as possible to register the brand into some organizations where they can recognize you and give you an award for the things you do as a business startup and all of that. So all those things, takes a lot of night night duty, just like where other people are going for their night shift. I still face my own night duty where others are sleeping. Apply for those things, and to an extent I was getting good results. So it's about consistency, determination, hard work, and you must, of course, know the direction that you're going. It's only somebody who does not know where he's going, then if you know your direction, you will see there will be so many obstacles. But the thing is, once you have a focused mind, you will get that result at the end of the day.
Okay, that will bring us to this question, which is looking back, ever since you've been in UK, in Wales, what are the challenges you think, and in this business line you are into, what are the challenges you would say, okay, you've encountered?
So there are a lot of challenges. One thing I was discussing with him while we were in the car, and he was particular about having a community. If we can have a community of business founders, not just founders, even people with ideas, they can come into that community and have a formidable force. So it could give it any name, but good name with good purpose. We don't have that. It's quite a huge one. So sometimes they said, if there's no door, you create a door or something, and I was thinking maybe we should, let's create it and see how we can run with that. But then another thing I said to myself is, you don't just run in isolation with things like that. You must have people with same mindset and purpose. But don't be moved by the crowd. Create that. That's one challenge. A community where we have a lot of people with different ideas, but they have a goal of somebody just needs to be at the door to hold the door for others to get in. If we have that kind of community, that way people can now begin to succeed to an extent. It doesn't have to be a monetary entity where we come in, I have a business problem, or my challenge is money. Now it's not about money. There are informations you can give to people that is even more than money. Those were the things I got. I'll tell you this for free. I looked at the whole community and I had to penetrate. There was the issue with penetration, which I found lacking, and I did that and it worked for me. Like the fintech wheels, it exposes you to other sets of people in the field. And I can tell you, for this system, the system we are in is not biased. Most of them are looking for money, just like the way you are looking for money. I kid you not. Yeah, if they don't meet up with the criteria, forget it. Yeah, they might have an upper edge, maybe because they are citizens or so. We are yet together, but they are all looking for money. And you see, I can tell you for free with my full chest that I'm even doing way better than some of them, if not most of them. Like new business startups with me, I'm doing way better, because the level at which I have got my publication, it was because of this hardship. So part of the challenge community networking is very, very important as well. Sometimes you are running the same business with somebody who is in the somewhere around maybe London. So you have to probably establish communication at some point. They're having an event you need to attend in person. So, and sometimes you are running all of these things at your own cost, not like the government are coming into this and all. And then you have your normal day-to-day job you want to do. So if you want to face your dream, would you want to allow your families to suffer? You have to balance it. So there is the issue of balance. People talk about money. I don't like discussing money, honestly. Money is a general thing that people will, even when you have money, you still say you need money. So the thing is, one of the challenges is how consistent you can be facing the brand. How determined are you? Because you are working during the day. The nights that you're supposed to take to have some sleep, you're taking like 3 hours or 4 hours out of that time to face your dream, which is the idea that you're building over time. And this does not work. It doesn't. A lazy man will not do that, so you have to be very, very strong, and to be able to curtail those challenges at the end of the day. We-minded, 100%. Yeah.
Let's talk about Alerte. Let's talk about it. What inspired the idea?
I'll tell you this side of the story, but let me just tell you about Alerte. I was sleeping in my dream and I just noticed that there was fire outbreak. And when I opened my eyes, all I did was to touch my phone And when I tapped my phone, water came out from nowhere and stopped the fire from escalating all over the place.
Wow.
When I woke up,
Wow.
that was it.
Oh, okay.
That was it.
I thought when you woke up from the
You
dream,
just
tapped
tapped your phone.
No, in my dream, I tapped the phone,
Okay.
and water came and squashed the fire,
fire.
from going all out. And when I had that dream, I just knew that was God speaking to me to do something about the whole thing. And it was, it sounds funny, but that was it. Honestly, that was what happened. And as God will have it, honestly, I followed that dream, and I couldn't. So this was about 7 years ago, and I was in Nigeria. So while I had that dream, I had to register it immediately. I said, this idea is very good. It's going to be good for emergency response and all of that if they can use this technology and all. So I worked with some guys in the United States. I said, look, this is the idea I have. So I needed somebody from the back end because I was doing the front end thing. We started doing something. So the first proposal was during the Jonathan era. I tried to, see the presidency, like this is what I've got and all of that. Stayed in Abuja for a while. That didn't work. So I decided to go into politics. I wanted to acquire power to see how I can infuse this thing to make sure that people use the app. So I was the youngest senatorial candidate in 2019. So I went again, tried to see the then governor of Kwara State, the now governor, still the governor of Kwara State. I was with the deputy governor, one-on-one, Mr. Kayode. We shook hands, he loves the idea and all of that. But then there was some kind of worm, I noticed that, for the app to work, then we need to have a lot of things in place in terms of system. You go to a particular state and you ask them how many emergency response bots do they have, or like a firefighting truck. They give budgets to all these things. One particular place I went to, their emergency firefighting truck is situated in the government lounge. Is the government lounge, and nobody has driven that. That truck has been there for over 3 years. If you call for an emergency, it's just one that they have.
Did you watch Joshua? Anthony Joshua, when he had an accident, his response team was police officers.
So
came.
And sometimes I think I saw, was it Ondo State? They unveiled ambulance, and I saw Keke Napep. I was like, "Are you sorry?"
So those ones, they can be useful at some point. I can tell you why.
Maybe because of bad road.
Maybe the system, the traffic, and all of that. Now back to the app itself. Like I said, I tried all this journey for a while, and it didn't work. And I decided to, after the election 2019, I moved to the UK. I just felt, I tried my best, but it didn't work. Let me just come here and start all over again. And that was how I started. Went to university, had my master's, and when I was done, I just knew it was time for me to strike. So, and then I started, discussing with the Wales police, discussing with NHS how to go about the app. And they would ask me, how does this app work? And I'm like, look, I'm not saying you shouldn't stop the use of 999, because this is how it works simply. If you have you are in a vulnerable situation and you call 999, sometimes it takes forever for them to respond to you. And when they eventually respond to you, for instance, you're telling them, oh, I am dying, or you're having headache, or something terrible is happening to you.
Call your GP.
They will start asking you. They will even say, before you call, they will start asking you your name, your date of birth, your location, and all of that. Now, for that, in fact, I was even speaking with one Wales policeman, and he was telling me he really loves the app, that his father died because he could not speak. There was a time he needed 999. He had to. There's something he puts on his voice that to enhance his communication, but he couldn't. But eventually, the man died. that if this app was in place, it would have just used it. So
Just
with the
press
use
that.
of swipe, you just need to swipe on the app, and it gives you option. Do you have an emergency? Do you want to speak with you? Do you want to go to the hospital, or is there a fire outbreak, or is there a harm robbery? When you swipe, it goes right to the main source of the person, the responder. It could be the police, could be the NHS. And now when the responder receives it, he sees your details, your name, your
Immediately.
picture.
Wow.
So they don't need to ask you where you are. They just come to you straight. And then there's another
Wow.
flip side on the app. Aside that, that's a huge aspect of the
That
app.
would be really useful for vulnerable people.
100%.
You can just be in your bed and just
Yes, you just need to swipe. They don't, and that is so. The app has three options. You can make phone calls with it. That's normal, because you can talk. You can send text message. The swipe is the height of it when there is an emergency. So when you swipe, it goes to the responder. They
I
see
really
your
love the
location and all.
swipe.
And then another thing about the app is, for instance, okay, you said you'll be going to work very soon now. Your wife should be able to know where you are if you're going to work. So you sync that. So that's one basic aspect. It's just normal, the tracking and monitoring aspect. So the issue it works with the kidnapping
go to your
issue.
side chick's house, they will catch you.
Exactly. So I mean, you have to be truthful to each other.
Here that security is a bit tight and a bit okay. You could use it to monitor your children.
100%.
You can know where their locations are.
Exactly.
Where they are.
I know children from the ages of 8.
It will even be useful in our country more.
Yeah,
Because all these things that are happening back home, I guess if you are somewhere, once you swipe, I already know your location. I know where you are at that moment. People any security agency can just come in there and
then
get you out of anywhere.
Another thing again, when you swipe, first things first, it's a consent-based app between you and your spouse, or with you and any of your loved ones, your family. Now, when you are in a vulnerable state, like a fire outbreak or something, aside the fact that it's going to the police or it's going to the fire response team or anybody, your immediate family also gets aware immediately. So that's one side. Spots danger. We're also looking forward to a way where somebody will be carrying some weapon. I mean, I've said that here. Anyway, but the app spots danger. It's just like the normal driving that you do on the way. They tell you there's a car parked at the side or something. So when you go, for instance, like in Nigeria, it's really going to be useful. And I mean, we are in an advanced communication in Nigeria, 100%. I can tell you.
Yes.
I was there recently, and I mean, I can tell you for free, there are some high-profile people that have contacted me, and we are working, assiduously to see how we can incorporate the app to the glory of God. I was talking about the app being able to spot danger. So, for instance, in the place where we had the Chibok girls taken, if you go there, the app tells you to be careful. This was where this thing has happened. That your safety here is 0%. Get out of there. You go to Chicago, there are usually gunshots in those regions. There are records there. The app tells you, look, there is danger here. You have to be watchful. You have to be careful.
So the app uses the history of that location to profile
absolutely
that community.
Exactly.
To alert you if there's danger.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's why they call it Alerte.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So that's what the app does. And a lot of features are coming. There is also the aspect of the app. You can use it so if they kidnap somebody now, then they switch off that phone, the app will still be able to locate you.
So what gave you this passion for this kind of, because this is a very specific part of life, and not everybody would want to venture into this place. So what gave you that passion, apart from you saying you were sleeping and you had a dream? Where did your family or a friend of yours or someone related to you have this kind of issue that gave you this so much passion to fight for people's safety?
So I just told you I contested for Senate. Aside the fact that I went mainly because of the app, I've been a leader all my life. I have always served. When you are called to leadership, it calls for responsibility. As a servant leader, I care about the well-being of the people. There has been series of kidnap. When I saw the Boko Haram issue, when it was still very fresh, in fact, it was from the Niger Delta militancy issue, the kidnap of those white people,
Yes,
that I started having that like, why is this thing happening in my country and all? Because I was in the forefront of the struggle while I was young, but I didn't want to belong. It got to a point they wanted to tag me a militant while I was, advocating for those people. But then I was like, you see, this kidnap thing is not what I want. If there are ways we can dialogue and see how we can make things happen, it's fine. So I've always been that servant leader. In my university days, I was the president of the Faculty of Creative Arts. In my secondary school days, I was a prefect, both social prefect, and then in my primary school days, I was the head boy in my school. So all those things were building me up over time to be a leader. So in my school days, I was very, very outspoken, especially when the Niger Delta militancy was all over the place. I was going from place to place to air my views and my opinion. So getting to this stage and seeing that in my dream was like, oh, this is the catch. And it's what is happening right now. Even in this UK, children go missing. It's just that it's that
yeah.
Children go missing. Why would they tell you to go to school and pick your kids all the time? It's because they know that at any point in time, they just go missing. Happen. And if you check the statistics that are there, in US it's massive. So with this, to an extent, if we have it, you'll be able to, curtail the issue of insecurity wherever you are. So these are the passion. It's not. I don't have to wait until it happens to me before I start chasing.
Before you start chasing,
you understand? Yeah. So somebody else. It could be, it could be you tomorrow. Anybody that is affected. See, I tell people. Sometimes people come to me and they say, somebody died, and that passion.
So let me just go to the next question, which is being recognized at the UK startup. What's it called? This award they had last time. I guess it's actually a huge achievement for you.
Yeah.
How did that moment feel?
Yeah. So I did apply for some nominations, and the UK startup was one of them. Over 2,100 applicants did apply and was selected as the finalist. It was a huge one for us, and that gives us the visibility and the ability to also penetrate, to the market. There was also the MEA market that we got nominated for. I think the official announcement will be done this July. And
that's beautiful.
The Great British Entrepreneur Award is happening in November, and I hope to win because we got shortlisted out of over 5,000 applicants. So
wow,
it was it was
that's a huge job. That's a huge job.
We are willing and ready to penetrate the market. It calls for excitement and it calls for celebration.
Yeah,
being shortlisted. So it's a good one.
Yeah, the milestones that Alerte has gone through, it's a marvelous one. I know you've been selected for startup finalist for quite 2 or 3 of them, which I have seen. Okay, to my next questions, I want to ask, what's the challenges that black communities, our communities, Nigerian communities have in starting up a business, and how can people go through to get into business?
So first, you need to have an idea, and then have a host of like minds. So and then make sure, don't cut corners, just make sure you do the right thing. It's very easy. You can go online. The UK VI site, the company's house, is a place where they are not biased. Once you have that idea and you're ready to register, just go in there and do it. But then you need mentors. You need people to guide you through, so you don't do the wrong thing. Because sometimes if you do the wrong thing, it's going to cost you. You can't afford to make mistakes in the UK. If you make it, you're going to pay dearly for it. So you need somebody to guide you. So we need a community where we have like minds, where we can be able to build a stronger entity and a formidable force to be able to get to achieve our dreams, basically.
Okay, moving on to the next questions. I'll say, what is one lesson entrepreneurship has actually taught you that no classroom has done that for you?
You must be a blind man. You see nothing but that dream. That's the only thing. Because
you must be a blind man.
Yeah.
Because whatever
in quote,
what you mean that whatever classroom will teach you, it will defy
See, on the journey. So sometimes it's always good when you go into that journey and you see those loopholes, and then you make amends in the process. Because sometimes I can tell you, be careful. I'm telling you, be careful. But if you are not there, it's different, because you are not there yet. But when you are there, you will see the practical experience. So while in the journey, you will see those obstacles. But it does not mean that you should go back, because you are being focused. A blind man is like a focused man who sees nothing but just one thing.
But just one thing, yeah.
Yeah. So you must be a blind man in quote.
Okay, I want to ask a question. You have a business in the UK, right?
Yeah.
There is a saying that for you to have a business in the UK, you must have a citizen or a white person as your board of directors. Is that true?
That's a big lie.
So please, can you tell us what is needed?
Because people need to. People are really asking questions.
So it depends on the route you're going. You can have, see, like I said, the system is not biased. See, you just need to have information, knowledge. If you are opening a limited company, you are the director. You can be the sole director of the company. Only you, one man standing, run it. Nobody, there is no white person anywhere that you need to have or go and marry one. No, it's just you. It's an islander. So, but if you are going for like a community interest company, like the KIC, they call them CIC, then you will have board of directors. They must be a bit far away from you. So maybe you are in CF3, I should be in CF4. We must not be in the same address. That's the only thing with the board of directors. And you can start with 3. And that's if you are going for that community. But for a limited company, it's you.
Would they be active partner or just like a sleeping partner?
No, so you must, at least once, you must have meetings, give them updates. You do online meeting basically. Okay. And once you do that, you can always write that, okay, this was the meeting you had and all. It's pretty straightforward. I can tell you for free, there are so many companies that are struggling and they are owned by these same white people. I can tell you, for like the Wales the finalist award that I got for the UK startup. You needed to see the way they were praising me in some of the WhatsApp groups that I'm in. Now, some of these business like FinTech Wales and some other organizations, some of them you get into those communities for free. Some of them you have to pay for them. So when you pay, some I paid actually to get into those communities, because there's a membership form you have to fill. And then they have to do a background check to know how genuine your brand is. They will check your social media handles. So I mean,
you've done
the things that you must have an antecedent. So it comes with a whole lot of work. So one thing is, when you have an idea, register it to the company immediately, or before, just create those social media handles, especially your LinkedIn and your Facebook. Then you can add Instagram to it. Then maybe those TikTok. TikTok. Well, you can add TikTok there. Just make sure you have all those social media handles and start posting ideas. Then you must have, if you need a graphics designer. So I have a host of team doing all this work for me, and it comes with a lot of sacrifices and costs.
Okay, so if now I want to start a business, where do I go to start a business?
Go to company's house.
Company's house.
Go to company's house, and they will give you the options.